Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Me. I'm so excited. Today we're making a staple Nigerian dish. You've heard of it. If you haven't, I'm so excited to introduce you to Jollof rice. I am by far not the first one to make this dish ever, but in our house we enjoy it the Tanzanian way, taught by a Nigerian queen. A little history on this. This is Rose's favorite dish. It is basically spicy Nigerian rice. It is incredible, tastes really good, and it can be accompanied by a whole bunch of different proteins. So I'm going to teach you the rice part, and you can have it with whatever you like. I'm excited to share this style of making it that was passed down from Queen Mother herself. Rose's mom taught me how to make jollof in our very early stages of our relationship while I was just learning how to cook, and she was so gracious, and she didn't tire to show me the tricks and tips, and I think I've become pretty good at this one. So let's go right in it. You're gonna need a whole bunch of ingredients. Let's start with the fresh stuff. Okay, you're gonna need red onions. I'm gonna use 2.5 red onions. I'm gonna peel these. I'm gonna use 2.5. You're gonna need bell peppers. I'm gonna have 2 of these. You're gonna need a whole bunch of habanero peppers. You can also use normal chili peppers, but you're gonna need quite a few of these because the essence of this meal is that it's spicy. Spice varies. Some people can handle it spicier than others, so this is really up to you and your taste buds. You're gonna need tomato paste. You're gonna need some olive oil or vegetable oil or avocado oil, whatever you prefer. You're gonna need a cup of water. You're gonna need some plum tomatoes. Show you what those look like. I like to take them out of the can after I've opened them so they don't spoil. So you're gonna need those too. You're gonna need some fresh garlic. I'm cheating today because I don't have any more fresh garlic. So again, here I am with garlic that I'm squeezing out of a tube. Please forgive me, all the African ladies are cringing out there. You're going to need some rice. This is basmati rice. I've washed it already, which is not very advisable, but I just wanted to make sure I had everything prepared before we got into this because it swells. So don't do that. Wait until you're about to cook your rice to wash it. I have spices here. You have thyme. You have curry. You have, this is Maggi cubes or chicken cubes, whatever you want to use, and you have some salt. These all go into the pot at the same time, so you can just put them there and chill. And then we have bay leaves. These smell so good. Really, this is honestly for the scent. Really, really good. And then you're going to need some aluminum foil that we're gonna use later, and some chicken broth. I'm always for chicken broth over water. So the most important part of jollof rice is your pepper mix, your chili, some people call it chili mix, pepper mix, which I'm going to make right now, which is made out of all your fresh ingredients. You're gonna blend them all up. Something that I've noticed about Nigerian cuisine is that a lot of their cooking involves blending all of their fresh ingredients, which is pretty cool because you don't have none of them floating up in your meal, like nothing that you can pick at while the food is done. if that annoys you, you know, it's a good way to get rid of that annoyance. But let's make our pepper mix, okay?
Classic recipe. Exceptionally soon.
I forgot. You're gonna need some ginger.
Some ginger.
Yes, so peel your ginger and put it in your pepper mix as well. You're gonna need some ginger to add in there. Always good.
Yeah, rolling now.
These guys are coming in. The arena's been sold out for 6 months. And Luke, you understand, as well as Judge Booster and Steve Kerr and all the guys that we knew, where we experienced and I experienced. So I felt compelled. Once both of those guys, kind of.
Now we're pouring the water in.
Yes, we're pouring the water in. This is the only water you're gonna put in this meal. This is for the blend. Tighten that up. Look good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've got some add-ons to that. Yeah, you're gonna feel the spice already. It's pretty strong. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I promised to get more garlic cloves. Some garlic in there. And all you need are 2 big plum potatoes. Tomatoes. I cheat. Sometimes I put in that sauce. I feel like it's a good addition to the mix. Not too much though. I'm gonna turn it into a tomato paste. Whoop, whoop. Blend this all the way. You want it to be super fine. So I'm just gonna let this run while we prepare for the next step, okay? So as we prepare to cook, you need an additional tomato. This is for, again, your base.
Ready.
Ooh, that. It's pregnancy brain. As we begin to cook, you need an additional red onion. You're gonna use this for your rice base. So I have a beautiful story about the first time I met Rose's mom. We had just started dating, and he was like, "Hey, you want to meet my mom?" I was like, "Yes, I'd love to meet your mom. Oh my god!" So we set up a date in New York City, Mom and Dad, and I remember having such a surreal moment with her. We were in the middle of the street in New York, and we literally embraced for the very first time and hugged like we'd known each other for years. And we immediately both started crying, like, oh my God, like finally, for me, I guess, and for her too, finally. And it was such a beautiful, divine moment. Like, if anyone would have told me that that's how I would have met my mother-in-law, and that's how we would have had our first exchange, I would have been like, nah, that's out of a fairy tale. Honestly, I couldn't have written this up. It was ridiculously beautiful and such an epic moment. And what's funny is we left the guys on the side. So Dad and Ro were on the side of the street just looking at us like, doing this? Something. It was really interesting, but it was such a beautiful moment, and I treasure her so. She's so dear to me, and we have such a cool relationship. Separate from Ro, we have our own conversations and our own. Hey mom, did you see my jollof moments? But she was gracious enough, yes, to teach me how to make this. Babe, remember when we first met, Mom?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Y'all started crying
See?
like crazy.
Yep. She was it was really special. It was really special. And it's been like that ever since. We have such a cool relationship, and I cherish that relationship very much. She's been such a important part of our union, and she's been so supportive, and yeah, that's mom. So shout outs to mommy for her incredible recipe. You know, because people, you know, you can teach in many different ways, but this stuck with me, and it just evolves. And I know that I'm going to teach my daughter, and she's going to teach her daughter. So we are taking this from one generation to the next. So thanks, Mom. All right. So we start by putting the oil on a medium-sized pot. Make sure you have space. Not on that heat. Let it get hot. As we wait for the oil to, get to the optimum heat, I repeat, you do not want to burn your onions. Please be very careful, because burnt onions means sour food and bitterness that you don't want. That it's just like lurking at the back of any meal. You don't want that, so please be very careful. This actually may be the reason why, especially with pilau, which is a Tanzanian, a Swahili dish, very similar to jollof. The difference between Tanzanian and Kenyan pilau. Kenyan pilau has burnt onions in it. Tanzanian pilau is very particular about how well you cook your onions, and I believe that this is a big factor in jollof as well. It just brings out a lot of the flavors, and you gotta be very right with it. So let's get it right. It's gonna sizzle. It's actually good heat for it. So you got all of that in there. Stir it up. Smear it out. Ooh. Little darling. Ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. Please put that in the edit. Alright. There you go. You're gonna wait for your onions to brown, golden brown, before you put in your tomato paste. And this is all part of the jollof rice base, so look out for the golden brown. Saute those onions. So here we are. Take a peek. And this is a good level to have your onions at as you add your tomato paste. Like I have a little itty bitty, what is this? 170 gram can of tomato paste. I'm gonna take a big old chunk of it. This also depends on how many people you're cooking for, but I say 2 big tablespoons of scoop paste. That's loud, sorry. But that works. Okay, so you wanna mash your paste in there. Make sure it crumbles all the way. So give it a good stir. Please, again, do not let it burn. It's very important to get this part right. So don't get tired stirring and looking at your pot. Like, I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want it to brown. I don't want it to catch, you know. You can let this fry for a bit.
So you're stirring and you're trying to. What are you trying to get it to look like?
I'm trying to make it look like a crumble, but I'm also trying to make sure that the pot won't burn in any way. So you know, you got to keep your hands stirring. But it's like it's an in-between fry where you want it to cook, but you don't want it to cook too much. So you just have to have the right amount of heat and the right amount of stirring. I think we're good now. Now we are going to add our pepper mix. All right, this is kind of fun. Take scoops of this and let it go. Sound of that. So you want 3 cups of that. Cups is more than enough. If you have some left, this is actually great in the freezer. So put it in what you would call the bags with the Ziploc. That's right.
Ziploc bag.
And you can freeze it, and next time you need it, use it. But this is what your pot should look like. And you're gonna let this cook. You're gonna let this cook. Turn down the heat a little bit. You're gonna let it cook. You're going to cover it up and let it cook for about 10 minutes. But this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna add the chicken broth in 5, as well as your bay leaf. So let's give it a few. It's gonna start popping, so be careful as well. Make sure it's covered. You don't really need that many, but 4 bay leaves for luck. I like the number 4. Be sure to take them out before you eat, because they can be a little annoying in the food. And then we're gonna put some chicken broth. Again, I test always. It's more than enough. Stir that. Whoop. Stir it. Again, you can also just test with your eyes. Like, do I need more? So if you've made rice in a pot before, if you've made rice without a rice cooker, they always say that for 3 cups of rice, for 2 cups. So we have 3 cups of rice today. So for 3 cups of rice, you need, is it double the water or half of it? There's a finger test? Oh my goodness, shit, I don't know. But y'all gotta Google that. But it's either half the amount of water or anyway.
Finger test to the first. You just do a finger test to the first line, and once it's above, you're good.
There you go. That's the answer. So finger test. I don't want you to put your finger in this it's really hot, but a finger test could work too. Yes, that's true. And I'll show you why towards the end when I add the rice. But think about 3 cups of rice or at least our portion in your pot. You want to keep this cooking for some time. It's gonna pop, so keep it covered. And this time is where I would advise that you wash your rice, but I already did that. But prepare your spices, because that's what's going in the pot next. And you're gonna wanna let these simmer for a bit and then taste it. Sometimes you wanna add the pepper, sometimes you wanna add some salt, sometimes you wanna add curry, sometimes you wanna add whatever it is you wanna add. At this point is the best point to add it. So while this continues to simmer, we're actually going to do it now. We are going to put in our spices. And look at how pretty that is. Truly, honestly, that is jollof. That. I haven't put the rice in yet, but it's the most important part. Everything else is just letting food do what it does. So we're gonna cover this up for another 10 minutes. Make sure it doesn't burn, doesn't catch a base. Looks good, huh? Remember to taste test after this simmers for a bit. So we're gonna come back and taste this after 5 minutes.
Oh, sing, sing for me, ah, sing, sing for me. She'll be in the kitchen. Say what to me, can you sing for me? Sing, sing.
Okay, enough. Taste test real quick. Everything's good. We don't need to add nothing but our rice. Woo! At this point, you're gonna turn down your heat. To just below medium. You wanna look at that finger test? But no, you wanna stir your rice in there. Yeah. If you feel like, I feel like at this point we need a little bit more water. In this case, chicken broth. So I'm going to add a little bit more because finger test shows no bueno. So just a little bit. I think we're doing good now. I don't want to put my finger in there, but you just need it to be you need your rice to just have a little bit more covering than it did before. And I think we're good now. So I've turned down the heat all the way to low. You're gonna take your aluminum foil and you're gonna cover because you want your rice to cook evenly top to bottom. Cover. Ooh. This is a really African thing to do. Back in our villages in Africa, they cover the pots of rice like this when they're cooking on with firewood or coal, and they put coals on top of the metal sheet that covers the rice pot. So these are just cool little tricks to make sure your rice cooks evenly. You can use it for other meals, I'm sure, as well, but just a trick for all y'all. Make sure this is seared, and we're gonna cover it, and we're gonna cook this at low heat for 20 minutes. Cool. All right, we have waited 20 minutes. We're gonna check on our rice. It smells so good. So this is just for us to see whether our rice is cooking good, which it is. This is perfect. Oh, it smells so good. Can you smell it? You smell that? Okay, you're gonna cover it up again and leave it in here for 20 minutes. It smells so good. It's doing so good. Yeah! The color is so nice too. Yummy. Alright. Cover it up. Wait another 20 minutes. Keep the heat on low. And we'll be back. Really?
I'm good.
We we just made your favorite jollof.
You made jollof? I'm over here making chicken and broccoli. I'm gonna come pick up a plate of
Yeah,
jollof.
come get a plate of jollof. Yeah, we got plenty. No, for sure. Come pick it up.
Okay, I'm dead ass serious.
Okay. When the friends love the jollof.
Gotta love the jollof, boy.
Yes. All right. So we let it sit for another 20 minutes, and I am sure that this is going to be fully cooked now. So let's take a peek. There it is. Turn your stove off. You can keep the bay leaves in there because they just bring out the best aroma, but this is a good time to take them out. Other than that, let's serve you a plate. There you have it.